All right, everybody. Welcome to the Locker Room, episode 6. I'm Jalen Banks, along with one of my closest friends in the world, Kijana Caldwell. We're two former collegiate athletes who just so happen to be teammates, and we're just here, talking all things going on in the sports world. My dog, how's it going?
Pretty good week to week. Back at it again. I love it. It's been a good thing, and I love getting on here every week, just talking ball, catching up, and enjoying time that we don't really get to spend together, but we're together virtually. So
for sure.
Hey.
Anything this past week? Does let's talk to you?
Man, summer ball has started. So the week we got our first couple game practices in for summer football. So I've been scripting now. First week of me scripting some 7-on-7.
Okay.
So if I see the defense running something specific, I'm scripting something, get them boys out loose, see some man-to-man routes, and see my boys go to work. So
yeah, since we last hopped on, the lat is healed. Had a flag football game Monday. We won 34-0. Knocked
that's
out
not even fair. You play defense too, or you just quarterback only?
I do. I just sit in zone at corner.
Got you at corner, not linebacker. You're not the rush. You're not out there.
I rush a little bit. It depends if I feel like it. Also saw Mission Impossible 8. Tap in.
I might have to go see it. I'm trying to see Lilo and Stitch still. I ain't gonna lie to you. I gotta go see that movie. I heard it was like really good, so I gotta tap into that first. Like
I've seen both the Mission Impossible 8.
It was good. All right,
maybe
check it out.
Tad emotional, just a little bit. But we'll go ahead and get into it. As of the last 24 hours or so, NBA is shaking up the All-Star game again. This is what the third or fourth iteration in the last 5 years or so.
They got to find a way to keep the fans involved. So any way they can do it, Adam Silver's gonna do it.
I mean, this may be the best one yet, to be honest. This is the most intrigued I've been.
I mean, it's gonna be interesting. If for those who don't know, the NBA All-Star game is going to be the U.S. versus the world. Mm-hmm. So all the top NBA athletes and all-stars from the that were born in the U.S. or could it be born out of country will go head-to-head in NBA All-Star games. It'll be interesting.
I mean, of the formats, the tweaks that they've made, have you liked it at all? They started doing the whole draft.
I think the draft helped out a lot. I think my favorite one of the past was probably the LeBron, KD draft, or was it LeBron, Steph Curry? I forgot who it was in the draft.
LeBron, Steph. LeBron, Giannis.
Yeah, the drafts were, I think that was probably one of my favorites. This past, winning the quarter one was absolutely atrocious. That was the worst one I've seen so far. So I'm glad they're making a tweak to that because I don't want to see that again.
Yeah, no, I like the USA versus the world, especially coming off this past Olympics.
Mm-hmm.
There was obviously so much chatter about how far along the world has come in terms of basketball. And we saw just how competitive this past Olympics was. This past Olympics was the most, the world rosters had the most NBA players it's ever had. Mm-hmm. So I think if they're going to do it, this is the time to do it.
Especially,
how many foreign MVPs have we had in a row now? Giannis is back-to-back. Jokic is 3.
Mm-hmm. Shea.
Joel, which kind of has an asterisk on it now since he played for Team
USA. He plays for USA, yeah. I think he claimed US. So if he chose which one to play for, he would play for the US.
So technically he broke the streak, but at the time, he wasn't a USA basketball player. And then now we got Shea. So it shows how far they've come along. Do you want to get into what those teams will look like?
Yeah. Who do you think, I guess we'll start with the world. Who do you see on I guess we won't go in too far in the depth, but who do you see on that team? Maybe starting 5. What do you foresee?
As it stands today, the 3 best players in the world, Jokic, Shea, Giannis. It'd be interesting to see who of those 3 is the top dog. So that's really what I want to see. Luka.
Yep.
And then from there, it's kind of a toss-up. You can go Pascal.
Is it a toss-up? Better throw Wemby in there.
Oh, my God.
Starting lineup.
Yeah.
Wemby starting lineup.
Yeah. Wemby.
Think of that. Think of that three-headed monster and Wemby, Giannis, and Joker.
Thank you. I was tripping. But, yeah, you got the 3 best players in the world. Luka, when healthy, top 4, top 5,
Mm-hmm.
and then Wemby.
And
It's
this is where I'm thinking. I mean, like, what does the U.S. look like? I know for the longest time we had the LeBron era, KD, Steph. Like, you just had those big names for a
Russell
long
Westbrook,
time. That's what I'm
James
saying.
Harden.
For a long time, these guys are getting a little bit older now. So I think like this younger group, what does it look like? Is Bron still a starter?
Well, I think we're going to see
Respectfully, he's a starter. But I mean, like,
what do you mean? He just finished 6th in MVP voting.
bro, he's 40. He's still
And
great. He's still great. But like, do we have enough? That's my question. Is there enough talent on the USA side where Bron may not start?
I think
Because I don't
similar.
think he starts on the world side. Like, say if he was from the world, I don't think he starts. Out of the ones we just named.
He's starting over Luka.
All
He's starting over Wemby.
right.
If you have Giannis and Nikola, why would you need Wemby?
It's not. I don't think it's about like the 5 positions at that point. It's just
5 best?
talent. Like, you just gotta play, dude. I understand. I'm gonna get shit for this. Like, it is what it is. Bron's 40.
Who cares? He's the Nolan Ryan, the Tom Brady of basketball. Like, he's going to be great until he wants to be done.
But he's not gonna be the best until he wants to be done.
He's still one of, though. Again, he just finished 6th in MVP voting.
Dude, because he has to. Like you said, it's just about it's about like the voters and all that stuff. I'm like, dude, like, all right, like, come on.
What do you?
He had a good season. He had a great season. But dude, I'm just trying to be realistic. There's some point where he just might not be a starter.
I don't think it's this upcoming season.
So when is he? Is it until he's done? How many seasons does he got left? 1, 2. Like, when is his farewell tour?
I'd say 2 years from now when Bryce is in the league.
Okay, so he won both sons.
Yeah,
We'll see.
He'll fast track Bryce into the league.
He'll get him on the Lakers too, and then have 2 brothers playing for the Lakers.
And then the NBA will let him have his last hoorah, and then he'll call it quits. But I think he can play and play at a pretty high level.
All right. Well, since you believe that, what we talking about this 5 lineup for the US then?
Hold on, real quick though. I just want to. Who are some other people though on
the world team?
The world team, yeah.
I mean, I don't think you pull anybody. Granted, how good that Paris team, that France team was, I don't think you can pull anybody else off that roster.
Rudy? Okay.
Maybe, but I don't think you pull anybody else off that roster. I mean, I'm trying to figure out who else we got. Honestly, I don't know.
In general?
Yeah, I mean, for the world. I mean, for all-star wise, like an all-star caliber guys in the world on the world team.
Pascal?
Yes.
I mean, Jamal's never been an all-star, but like.
Yeah. He can make that team.
And then just filling out the roster. I mean, you got Franz, you got a couple more Canadians, you got RJ Barrett, you got Dylan Brooks, you got Lou Gentz.
If you just say Dylan Brooks one more time for an all-star game,
I said to fill out the roster.
He shouldn't even be mentioned in a roster. Nah, but really, I don't really. I think they got a real good like starting. Oh, what's Cat?
He's like Dominican or something.
News to me. News to me. I don't know what he claimed.
Kyrie may go Team Australia. He's talked about that.
Yeah, people just be talking. People just be talking. Kyrie ain't even gonna be playing. He not even. Remember, he injured, so he's done for the season.
Yeah, but like Cat is like he was like trying to play for the Dominican national team or something along those lines.
Yeah, I'm probably missing somebody. So fans, let me know who I'm missing.
It's got to be something. There's like one big player we're forgetting.
Gotta be. Worldwise, I don't know, but
I'm just going down like the list.
I want to go down the list, man. What's on the U.S. side? Because right now you got Ant.
Can we why just say the obvious 3? KD, LeBron, and Steph, the leaders of the last Olympic team, who are all still hooping.
Yes, like they're on the team. Yes,
they're starting.
I need young Bucks. Tatum. I need.
He's out.
Ant, he is out. Tatum's out. I need Ant. I need them young guys to hoop.
Yeah, they're going to
take over the league.
But no different than how we saw with the Olympics.
Halliburton.
I think we're gonna see guys like Paolo step up.
Yeah, Paolo. Yep.
Donovan Mitchell will probably be on that team. Jaylen Brown probably be on that team.
Jalen Brunson
will probably be on that team.
Mm-hmm.
The biggest thing would just be like bigs. Like, is Anthony Davis available?
Yep.
I think he's an all-star caliber player for sure. No
Yeah,
questions
yeah,
about
yeah.
that.
No, yeah, no questions asked. Yeah, but at that point, do we got a five?
Bam.
Yeah, man. But like as I said, do we have a five? I don't like playing a five. So do we have a big to go with the
Joel.
three-headed monster? Yeah,
Joel.
Joel when he's healthy.
Yeah. I mean, our two best bigs may or may not be available during that time. But like Bam can suit up.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go Team USA because it they would have played together recently. Whereas Team World, I'm excited because I think more than I'm not gonna say ever, but in some time, they're gonna really be competing. Because
yeah.
we saw this past Olympics, USA was pissed. Like we're all coming out, we're assembling the Avengers, and we're gonna win the gold medal. Now you're gonna have the world versus the US. Oh, they're gonna come out in who?
Oh yeah, you gonna have Steph doing Steph things. That's out of
Yeah.
the thing is he Batman out of it. I understand Bron, KD. If I'm winning a game in any realm of basketball, ball going to Steph's hands. I'm putting the ball in Steph's hands. They just did it in the Olympics.
Yeah.
Ball goes to Steph.
Any realm of basketball though?
Dude, if we need a 2, I need a 3, I need anything to win the game, it's going to Steph.
I mean, Braun hit a game winner himself during the trials against Sudan.
I'm not saying he can't, but am I choosing?
If we're going any realm of basketball, I'm choosing the most clutch player in NBA history, LeBron James. Like, what are we talking about?
We're talking about Steph Curry. We talk about Steph Curry.
What is Steph's postseason game winner?
What is Steph's postseason game winner? The USA game that we just talked about versus the world. We talking about that. We talk about that Steph Curry. We're talking about 73-10 Steph Curry. We talk about
73-10, which was almost a decade ago now.
We're talking about 3-time, whatever it is. We're talking about 3-time NBA champ, 4-time NBA champ Steph Curry.
Okay. We're still talking about LeBron James. Like, well, I don't understand. He has the most playoff game winners in NBA history.
Because he's been there so many times. Like
what?
He didn't play for 40 years. He's 40.
He hasn't hit any in a while though. Like he did this when he was in Cleveland.
Yeah, he ain't hitting any because why does he need to? He just not like at that point he ain't even getting that far no more. You get what I'm saying? Like he ain't even getting that far.
I mean, look, all I'm saying is the most if we're talking any realm of basketball, if I need somebody to like go get me a bucket and hit a game winner, I'm picking LeBron. When you can show me Steph's like postseason moment, his postseason game winner, then like maybe. But I'm not going to hang my hat on this past Olympics because that wasn't even a game winner. Just put the game away.
I'll hang my hat on. Steph can get it done.
And LeBron can get it done more than Steph can. So what are you talking about? Did Steph have MVP votes?
No. Did you watch his team? They weren't good. Like we talked about earlier, they needed a big. Well, that's a whole different conversation. They needed a whole big and all that stuff. They weren't that good. They weren't good till they got Jimmy because they needed some other player, but it is what it is. That's another topic. Let's move on.
AD was traded, Luka was hurt, and Brown was still carrying the Lakers. When he reversed, that's when it was just him. He was carrying at 40.
I'm with you.
Steph's not doing that.
I'm with you.
Steph said, Jimmy, help.
And look what happened when Steph was out. Team went to...
And what happened before Jimmy got there? Team was...
I'm just saying.
Jimmy even
admitted. He said, yeah, we run through that guy.
That's fine. Yeah, they run through him. But before Jimmy got there, they weren't even in the play-in. They were like...
Understandable.
It was ugly. But all right. We got a little bit off topic.
Yep, but let's go ahead. Let's get into that recap real quick. Eastern Conference Finals. Look, we haven't talked since last week. Them Pacers made the finals.
Yeah. First time in 25 years?
Something like that. Something crazy. I'm proud of them boys. They worked hard. Middle of the year, they were not expected to do much. They had a real bad slump. And then I guess had some chats in the locker room and was like, we got to get something done somehow, some way. And they managed to get it done.
I mean, that's the beauty of this year's postseason is we're seeing your non-traditional stars, or at least like the old guard of the NBA, not be a part, this round of finals. Even though like Jason Tatum and the Celtics, Jaylen Brown, they're more a part of this generation, but they've been competing and making it to the conference finals or the finals themselves basically since they came into the league. So they kind of feel a little bit of like Steph and Braun and KD and those guys. So it's awesome to see not so much that the Thunder are unexpected, but younger team make it to the finals. A
Yep.
lot of people doubted them because they were young. I mean, myself included. I'm not going to sit here and pretend as if, I wasn't a part of that group. And then the Pacers, who nobody had going to the finals other than Pacers fans.
Yeah.
So the
The
fact that
city's going crazy.
yeah, I bet. But the fact that they were able to get this far has been super fun to watch.
Yeah.
And Tyrese Halliburton being not only the player he is, but an entertainer as well,
Yeah, he's a character.
has made that series so much fun. Like the first game when they came back and beat him on the inbound, he just tossed the ball to Cat
Yeah.
to let the clock run out. It's like if I were Cat in the Knicks, I'd be pissed. But if I'm on his team and like watching it as a fan, I love it. Absolutely
Yeah.
love it.
What do you think about the last game after the win? They gave out the trophies, the Eastern Conference Finals trophies. What do you think about that with Pascal winning? I think Tyrese thought he was going to get it. I mean, he played great, played phenomenal, but I just don't know if they got it done without Pascal and how he contributed because he stepped up.
Was Pascal deserving? Yeah. Like he had nights where he definitely went off. But when the timely play needed to be made, when like a shot needed to be made, Tyrese made it.
Mm-hmm.
When they were having droughts offensively, Tyrese would come in and get things going. Like I underestimated, like, I don't want to necessarily call it clutch, but just again, the timeliness of some of the plays that he was making, even just simple outlet passes. He'll get the rebound. Knicks are kind of lackadaisical. He passes the ball ahead. Person either gets the layup or they get a foul. Little things like that he did time and time again throughout the series, where it's like it may not necessarily show up in the box score like Pascal's scoring did, which is why I think he ended up getting the award. But you can clearly see that everything runs through Tyrese for that team.
Mm-hmm.
And so for that reason, I would have liked him to have seen it, to have gotten it. But I think Pascal was deserving of it.
Yeah, I'm with you. I can agree with that. I think, like I said, I think Tyrese thought he was getting it, and which is rightfully so. He had a great series. Like we said, that 30-point triple-double, no turnovers that's hard to do in a playoff series.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't say getting triple-doubles consistently, but playing great basketball consistently. So,
and then even the game to close it out, like he closed it out. He was in single digits going into the fourth quarter, and he scored 13 in the fourth.
mm-hmm.
Like it was like 3 or 4 straight possessions where a vast majority of the game, Mikal Bridges was playing good defense on him. But then that switch flipped, and it was nothing Mikal could do and put the game away. So that's why I was surprised that he didn't get it, because of, again, the way he closed out that game. It's like one of those moments where it's like, oh, like that's a defining moment in his career, which would have, been the cherry on top having
that trophy next to him. That'd have been good. Take a little pic in the locker room.
But I mean, I know you had the Pacers winning, but I mean, what are your overall reactions to how they ended up winning the series?
I honestly thought the Knicks were going to just play a little bit harder. Like I said, I think fatigue stepped in, like I've been saying for a minute. Mm-hmm. They playing a lot of minutes from their starters. And I think at a point in which the pace of Thibodeau's offense or Thibodeau's game plan just kind of caught up to him. So I think by the time they got to a game 4, game 5 in the series, it was already too late to even make the needed comeback to push it to a game 7.
Yeah. And talking about Thibodeau, you want to move on to like that news?
Yeah, I guess so. With Thibodeau being the coach he is, news just announced maybe a day ago that Tibbs is fired and the Knicks are going in a different direction for their head coach.
I mean, I'm surprised, but then again, I'm not, because in professional sports, coaches don't have the same leash that they had years ago. I mean, we saw Taylor Jenkins get fired right before the postseason. We saw Mike Malone get fired right before the postseason, who won a ring not even 2 years ago. Like less than 2 years ago, he was making his postseason run with the Nuggets, and now he's not even their head coach. We saw Nick Nurse get let go. We've seen Mike Budenholzer get let go. All these coaches that have won rings for franchises that few down years, they get the boot. And I saw that Tom Thibodeau has the highest winning percentage of any coach in NBA history that has never won an NBA championship. And so it's difficult and you're teetering that line because it's like he's a really good slash great coach, but for whatever reason, just quite hasn't gotten the break or the team over the hump. And that's the thing about a couple of these rings where some of these coaches got breaks. Nick Nurse has a ring because KD tore his Achilles and missed games in that series. Respectfully. Like no one was beating, almost said the Thunder. Nobody was beating the Warriors when KD was healthy. It just wasn't a thing.
Yeah.
He missed those first two games, came back for game 3, and then that's when he tore his Achilles. When it comes to Mike Budenholzer and his ring, and I mean this with like the utmost respect, I'm just simply trying to paint the picture that more often than not, teams need breaks in order to win rings. But Mike Budenholzer, the Suns in the Eastern Conference semis, I mean not the Suns, the Bucks in the Eastern Conference semis, Kyrie rolls his ankle, James Harden tears his hamstring. He played through it, but he tore his hamstring. So you weren't playing the Nets with KD, Kyrie, and James Harden at their full strength. And then you get into the finals and Chris Paul tears his hamstring. And the Suns fell apart once Chris Paul got hurt.
Mm-hmm.
And so, again, it's like Tom Thibodeau never really got that break. He wasn't in the Eastern Conference Finals against Miami and D Wade and LeBron go down. If anything, he was the coach on the other end with Derrick Rose getting hurt. Jalen Brunson rolled his ankle a couple years back against the Miami Heat, and he missed a couple games. Like, it's just been, it's...
And it's interesting. I just think they say, like, with Tibbs, I just think as a coach, he's a great coach, phenomenal coach, been in the league for a long time. So I can't really say too much about his coaching style. But I think him adapting to his players is different. And I don't think he necessarily always did that. Like, I think he had a style of basketball that he wanted to bring out of players. I mean, he coached Derrick Rose for what, 10 years? Not just on the Bulls, but then again, he coached him on the Timberwolves, coached him on the Knicks. He coached Derrick Rose for quite a long time. So I think he brought that style of basketball onto multiple different seasons, multiple different rosters. So I think he just had to adapt to try to make it over that hump. And I don't think he necessarily did that to the best of his ability.
Other than the minutes, I feel like he has adapted in a lot of ways. Like the Bulls, the Timberwolves, his early days with the Knicks, they weren't shooting threes. The game wasn't as wide open. Like, I mean, look at his center now compared to his center in Chicago. Joakim Noah and Karl Anthony Towns are two totally different players. At one point, Julius Randle was his go-to. Now he has Jalen Brunson, a small guard. He has Karl Anthony Towns. And then he brought in all these wings that are 3-and-D guys. And for a decent, for the most part, can create their own shot. So I feel like he has, but again, those minutes, dudes are playing 40? And I understand, in the postseason, you gotta just kind of, it's like pitching in the World Series. It's like, hey, so be it. If the arm falls off, the arm falls off. But it's only the Knicks who consistently throughout the season kind of plays their rotations that way. And it's like, you've done everything but at just this aspect of your coaching style. And one, I'd be curious to see if he gets another opportunity. I'd imagine he would, but you never know. If he gets another opportunity, then secondly, if he finally chooses to make that change.
Yep. And I guess, going into the depth aspect and playing your bench, that kicks me off into the next series coming up with the Thunder and Pacers in the NBA Finals. I mean, this is going to be an interesting game because both teams play a lot of players off the bench and have a pretty decent rotation.
Yeah, I mean, NBA Finals start Thursday. The Thunder heavily favored. They're 8.5-point favorites going into game 1. Do you think Indiana has a shot at all in winning this series?
No, yeah, for sure. I think they have a shot. If they're gonna have a shot at all, they can't commit, I think, as many fouls as they have previously. Being with Shea, that just plays into Shea's favor and the way he plays basketball. They're gonna have to be a stout defensive team and play in unison. They can't go and get down by 15, 20 points in any point in games and expect to come back and win like they have before. Because that just won't happen with the Thunder. They're going to be able to close out and finish out basketball games. So they're going to have to keep it tight, keep a close game, and play pretty good defense.
I think there's a pathway. little narrow, but I think there is a pathway. This series, Tyrese can't have a game where he doesn't get his. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not saying he's got to go for 30, but he can't have a game where he has 11 points. He can't have a game where he has less than 10. Like, he's going to have to be aggressive, but at the same time, the Thunder have bodies to throw at him. Not saying that the Knicks didn't. They did. But Lou Dort, Alex Caruso, that's a tall task. I mean, Caruso was guarding Nikola Jokic and was holding his own, the best player in the world. Granted, two different body types and two different heights, but this is somebody that clearly is not backing down from a challenge. And if they could trust him to guard Jokic, I'd imagine they're going to trust him to guard Tyrese. Yeah, I think that's the only way they find a way to win the series is Tyrese has got to score each and every single night. Like, he's got to go for 20 plus each night.
Yeah, and
Which,
Pascal can have the droughts. Like he was early on until he found it. I
mm-hmm,
don't think he can have a drought. He's gonna have to at least score 15 a night, if not
mm-hmm.
more.
Oh,
And
he's gonna have to 25 a night against the Thunder if they want to have a chance to win.
they're gonna have to
Um,
rebound the ball. Like they've lost the rebounding battle quite a bit because just how they play the game, they play pretty fast, spread the floor a lot. But the Thunder are aggressive
mm-hmm.
and attack the glass. They just play hard nosed basketball for a lot of young guys. They got people that are fresh and play hard. So, I mean, like I said, it's a tall task, but it's going to be interesting to see how the series plays out.
I've been waiting to ask this question for some time, mainly because I was waiting for them to make it to the finals. If Shea wins this, is he the greatest Thunder of all time?
Oh man, that's a big question. KD still KD, but like MVP KD. Granted, he didn't win a championship, but
I mean,
you the real MVP KD. I don't know yet. He can be. I just don't know
well,
if he is that yet. That's a tough question.
truthfully, I don't. I'm trying. One of the things that I feel like a lot of people do, but I try to embrace more is I try my best not to get caught up on nostalgia, and I
Yeah,
really want to
mm-hmm.
be objective.
Like I'm thinking about I'm thinking about Kevin Durant as Kevin Durant and not Thunder Kevin Durant.
Yeah,
Like
Shea, and again, numbers are not everything, but scoring wise, is he not there with Kevin? You know, he
yeah.
has an MVP like both him and Westbrook do. He would have a ring. You could argue he's the best player in the world, but no different than KD, top 3 player in the world, during his time with the Thunder. Russell couldn't say that he was a top 3 player in the world, not definitively.
No.
Or he would say that, but like the average consumer of the sport would not have said that he's definitively a top 3 player in the world at any point in his career, even when he
Yep.
won his MVP. But you can say that for certain with Shea as we speak. So I
Yep.
think he's already, with all due respect, has surpassed Russell
Yes.
in terms of like Thunder player rankings. And then he would have the one thing that neither one of them were able to accomplish when they were on the Thunder, and that's win a ring. So, like, my heart would still go KD, but what my mind is telling me is if he wins this, he's the greatest Thunder player of all time.
Yeah. It's gonna be tight. Like I said, I can't say it just yet, but he's well on his way.
He would need no.
He's well on his way.
He would need this though. Without it, he's in the top 3. But if he wins this, and he also doesn't have a Westbrook or a KD at his side, he's got like a lot of other good pieces. But Chet is not Russell Westbrook or KD. Jalen Williams is not Russell Westbrook or KD. Russ and KD had each other. Jalen Williams and Chet are not Paul George like Russ had after KD had left. Not saying that he's winning this ring by himself. I'm not disparaging those players, but those players are not Paul George, Russ, or KD that he's playing alongside with. Just,
I'm with you.
just throwing that out there.
Well, that leads us. Look, that topic of Shea leads us into what your predictions are, I guess, for this series, and if he will win it, and do you think he will win it? Well, not him. The Thunder will win it.
I think he'll win it. I'll go Thunder in 6. I just think it's their year. 1 seed in the West, minus the Nuggets. You run through everybody else. Like, you beat Nikola Jokic, you beat Anthony Edwards. Granted, Ja Morant got hurt, but you beat Ja Morant. Like, and Jaren Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think they're well tested, and they smoked 2 of the better teams in the NBA. And I trust their scoring, their peak scoring more than I do the Pacers, solely because Shea is a better scorer than anybody by a pretty decent margin on the Pacers. And then you've got guys like Jalen Williams, Chet Holmgren, and those defenders that I just trust what I see in them more.
Yeah.
Now, would I be shocked if Indiana found a way to win it? No, but I'm just gonna go with OKC.
Hey, I'm gonna shoot the same. I think OKC wins it in 6. I think it's gonna be early on the first 2 games. The Pacers got to win one if they want any chance to win it. They're both in Oklahoma City. If they can't win Oklahoma City within the first 2 games, they're gonna run away with it. Yeah, it's over with. It's over with. I just can't see them, especially because if it does make a game 7, it's gonna be in OKC. You got to be able to win in OKC because I don't think they did in the regular season, and it wasn't close. I don't believe so. It's gonna be a tall task, but I got OKC in 6. But I have a great series by the Pacers. I think they play hard and they push them to their limits.
Yeah, I think they've also no different than how OKC has bodies that they can send at Tyrese. The Pacers have bodies that they can send it at Shea,
and anybody can score at any time too.
Yeah, like Mathurin, Neesmith, Nimbard, Pascal, even Tyrese can hold his own a little bit. Like you can throw those guys at Shea and they can hold their own as defenders. Like I mean, Nimbard did a great job against Jalen Brunson, who's one of the better scorers in all the NBA. So they've definitely got pieces. I think that both these teams match up really well against each other. I just trust OKC's peak more than the Pacers.
I'm with you.
But I'm not going to lie, my brother's not going to like this. I want the Pacers to win.
Do it for the city.
I rock with Tyrese. Curly headed, light skin doing it. I gotta roll with him.
But look, all right, man. We talked about a lot about the NBA, but let's transition on. Talk a little about the NFL, what we've seen and what's happened in the NFL so far.
Yeah, so just this week, Lions center Frank Ragnow retired from the NFL after only 7 seasons. But in those 7 seasons, he had a really good career. I mean, obviously, he's been a part of this resurgence in Detroit, making it to the postseason the last 2 years. He made it with Matthew Stafford as well, but 4-time Pro Bowler, 3-time second-team All-Pro as an offensive lineman. So let's go ahead and clap it up for Frank on a good career.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Drafted out of the University of Arkansas. He's actually from Minnesota. You don't really see people from up that far north make it to the SEC. So the fact that he was able to
go first round, oh my God.
All of that, like just a testament to the player that he was. But just initial reaction, what does it say about Detroit?
I'm curious on how all the pieces that have left within the year, how do they recover from that? Like, do they have a good system in play? You kept your head coach, which is a great foundation. Dan Campbell is a phenomenal head coach, and he knows how to get the best out of his players, but has too much left for them to sustain that run that they've been on.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about it on the pod. I think them losing both their coordinators was going to be a tough hurdle to begin with anyway. Now they still got some awesome pieces. You've got both the running backs, you've got your 2 receivers, you've got Sam Laporta, but then defensively, is Aiden Hutchinson going to be the same? Do you guys even have a pass rusher opposite of Aiden Hutchinson? Has Jack Campbell really been the player that you've wanted him to be? Like, I know he's been good, but he was a first rounder. Like, you have Kirby Joseph, but you lose Carlton Davis in free agency to the Patriots, and you're banking on your draft picks to hit. But unlike when Dan Campbell first got to Detroit, you don't have top 10 draft picks coming in. You don't have top 15 draft picks coming in. You've got into the first round, into the second round, into the third. Those are tougher to hit on. Some teams do it better than others, but you're not going to have the surefire hit in Aiden Hutchinson. You're not going to have the surefire hit like Jamison Williams now that he's like fully recovered from his ACL.
And go ahead and talk about draft picks. I mean, I think the draft pick that they got in the second round, 57th overall, in Tate Ratledge, I heard he's taken first team reps since the announcement of the retirement. So are they banking on him to hit? Like, it'd be great if he did. If I'm not sure if he's taking first team at guard or center or whatnot, but where does that play? It's tough to start a rookie at any position. That's
especially at center.
Yeah. And he's the quarterback of the offensive line. The center is. So it's a tough scenario. So it'll be interesting how they adapt.
Yeah, because I mean, you know this, depending on how they run things offensively, the center may be the one setting up protection.
Mm-hmm.
The center may be the one identifying the mic. And I would assume that Jared Goff would take those responsibilities, but you never know. Or if there is a level of uncertainty and there needs to be a check made, are you going to trust him to do that against Dennis Allen this season, who's one of the better defensive minds in the league? Are you going to trust him to do that against Brian
Brian
Flores this
Flores,
season?
yeah, it's some. That's what I'm saying. The NFC North is so dominant. It's such a competitive conference that it's going to be tough for the young offensive linemen and new coordinators
Mm-hmm.
that they didn't have before to be successful in the NFC North. Not saying they can't do it, but it's going to be tough.
Yeah, I mean, you've got with coaching, I think the Bears are now a legitimate playoff caliber team, and you've already got three solidified playoff caliber teams in the Lions, the Packers, and the Vikings. And I mentioned Dennis Allen and Brian Flores, but Jeff Hafley and the Packers, like their defense is legit.
All
Like
the time.
he's a great DC. Like them poaching him from Boston College, like him, walking away from being a head coach at the collegiate level and becoming their DC was a huge move for them. Part of the reason why they were able to kind of, battle through Jordan Love being out. Granted, Malik Willis stepped in and did a good job,
Hmm?
but your defense has to go out and get stops and force some turnovers when your quarterback is down. So, yeah, I mean, that division alone is brutal.
Yeah.
And then now you got potentially a rookie center who may have to make some calls is relatively concerning. In some more like lighter news, we've got Madden cover revealed. Now it just hit me today. Hold on, let's say who the athlete is first. But Saquon Barkley, first team All Pro running back this past season, Super Bowl
Mhm.
champion, Philadelphia Eagles, is going to be on the Madden cover. They recreated the shot of him jumping over the Jaguars defender.
Yeah.
But it just dawned on me that his number is also the Madden number.
Yep.
I was like,
They did
yeah.
some. They did some stuff there. They made you think a little bit. But no, much deserving. I'm not sure how much of a accomplishment it is, I guess, to be on a Madden cover. But like, I think as a kid though, that's
Mm-hmm.
one of the things you dream
Yeah.
of not just being in the game, but being on the cover of the game. So
Yeah.
it's always a cool thing to see that you're like, man, I'm the cover athlete of Madden, the game that everyone plays for my
And we
position. I mean,
we
for my
talked
sport.
about
So
it. We talked about it a little bit this week. I'm happy they chose like that is the covers, him jumping over it. I don't know why they needed to recreate it though. Because if you go back and we'll get into more of this later in the show and look at the old Madden covers, they would literally just like pluck like them in the middle of a play and make that the cover. Why couldn't you have done that with one of the most athletic plays we've ever seen? Like if you could just take a random shot of Ray Lewis like fitting up, why wouldn't you do it as he's jumping over this Jaguars defender? Like why do we have to recreate it for the cover? Like it
like
was a
with the
little bit,
harnesses and everything, like he got up an extra
yeah,
couple
foot
inches.
just for him to do this. But nah, I mean, I thought it was a good cover. It's probably my favorite in the last like 5 or 6 years, though.
It's a good one. That's a good one. That's a good one. And 99, he is 99 athlete, 99 cover athletes. I mean, I don't play Madden all that much. I might have to buy it this season. Barkley on the cover. We'll see.
I just hope they don't overdo the jump.
That they are. I think they already have in the past ones. So like, we'll see. We'll
Yeah,
see.
but that was dope. I like it, and it's in the Kelly green too, which makes it even
Yeah,
cleaner.
that's look. Them jerseys so nice. Them
Yeah,
jerseys so nice.
not that I'm an Eagles fan, but like that's one of those jerseys where you just get it for the sake of having it. Like
Yeah.
it's like getting like the creamsicle, like Tampa Bay or the Orange Crush Broncos, like
Mm-hmm.
anything like that. Super clean. But on a slightly sadder note, Josh Brinkus, and the reason why I want to honor him, but also shed light, on the way that he passed. Josh Brinkus, who many people know him as the host of Sports Science, which was a show that brought again like more of a scientific view of professional athletes, where they would break down plays or just simply have pros come in and do different tests to show truly just how great they are. It was on both Fox and then eventually picked up by ESPN. But in the statement released by, like his estate, they talked about how, he lost his battle with depression. I thank the Lord that that's not an area in my life that I've struggled with, but I know it's an area that many people do struggle with. Unfortunately, like even a former teammate of you and I's, Mr. Smalls back in 2017, had lost his battle with depression. And it's mental health over the past like 10 years or so has been an area in all of our lives that has gotten a lot more attention after decades of just kind of brushing it to the side. It's a daily battle for a lot of people, and just want to use this as a reminder or an encouragement, whether or not you're struggling with it. If you need help, like, please seek it. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Or if you have a loved one or someone that you care about that you think may be struggling with their mental health or with depression, reach out to them, because you never know. Like, who knows, maybe just a phone call or a hug, a hi, who could have been the difference maker in keeping Josh Brinkus with us. So that's part of the reason why I want to mention it is, don't be afraid to take care of your mental, and also don't be afraid to, extend that hand for somebody that may be struggling.
Appreciate that, man. I'm glad you brought that up. So that's always good to hear. I'm glad you brought that upon us and to share that with everybody. So thank you, Jalen.
But as far as the sports science show, I mean, again, he used to come in and bring athletes in for testing, just to show, like, hey, these people are different for a reason. My favorite sports science show, and I haven't played quarterback, there's an episode he did with Drew Brees, and he had an Olympic archer come in and shoot 10 arrows at, like a bullseye, to see how many times, the Olympic archer could hit it right in the middle. The Olympic archer did it 7 out of 10. Brings Drew Brees in. Drew Brees has 10 throws. You want to guess how many times Drew Brees hit it?
Nah.
10. He hit the bullseye 10 times out of 10. So Drew Brees was more accurate than this Olympic archer at hitting the bullseye, which just goes to show you, like, guys at that level, but at particular, like, the best of the best, are otherworldly. Like, just a different type of athlete, human being, like, mentally just different.
Yeah.
But without Josh Brinkus, we can only make assumptions, but he used that platform to really make us appreciate how special these professional athletes are.
Yeah, and I
One of
think
my
that even bleeded into like the next gen stats type of thing they're doing now with putting chips into the balls on people's shoulder pads, things like that, to see how fast people are running in the NFL, see how high they're jumping, percentage of catch radius, or what, like all the crazy stats that you wouldn't think of are being highlighted and shown. Like, these guys are special.
Yeah,
And like you said, are in the NFL for a reason, top of the line athletes, and just not everyone can do it. And that's what I just want. Like, not everybody can be in the NFL playing any professional sports. So.
And just the concept of merging the two, sports and science. We're not too far removed from our playing days. I remember when we, like, being in college, every week during the season, we would have to do a vertical jump, and they would track our vertical jump throughout the entire year. And it was an indicator to see, like, how fresh your legs were compared to the beginning of the season. Obviously, beginning of the season, your vertical jump is going to be much higher, and you want to try to maintain, it's going to be your peak, and you want to try to stay as close to that as possible. And if you're starting to see huge drop-offs as the season goes on, then it shows the level of fatigue that your legs are going through. Like, you're not having the same burst and explosion, because this vertical jump, like, it was on a pad, so it would see, how much force you're putting into the ground once you jump, and then obviously how high you are jumping. And it's shows like this, again, as you mentioned, like putting the chips in the balls or in the shoulder pads, where we're really able to track what these athletes are doing, not only just to accentuate how great they are, but to better take care of their bodies, which we're seeing, like we were talking about LeBron. Like, he's not able, like, yes, part of it is physical and God-given, but without the scientific aspect of the sport, which Josh Brinkus is a huge pioneer of, we don't get year 22 40-year-old LeBron James. But yeah, that's what I've got on that one. So RIP Josh Brinkus, thank you for bringing the world of sports and science, the worlds of sports and science together. And again, if you need help, if you feel like you're struggling, don't be afraid to ask. And if you feel as if anybody may need help, do not be afraid to extend that helping hand. So that's it on that.
Very good. All right, but let's get into some lighter-hearted topics here. Talking about some of these lists that came out in the past week. We got two of them now we want to hit. Since we're already on the NFL topic, we're going to stay in the NFL topic and go with the top list. I think it came out with Fox Sports. The top list of NFL draft picks in the 2020 NFL draft.
Yeah. Fox Sports via the Daily Ranker put out a top 10 list, top 10 players from the 2020 draft. A lot of people, solely because of, like, some of the picks not hitting in the first round. Like there was a lot of picks from that first round that didn't see their second contract with the team, but you still got some of the best players in all the NFL that came from the draft. But just
Mm-hmm.
for those at home watching or listening, the top list consists of these 10 players. Nnamdi Madubuike at number 10, Jonathan Taylor. Well, let me go team and position. Nnamdi Madubuike, defensive tackle for the Ravens at number 10. Jonathan Taylor, running back for the Indianapolis Colts at number 9. Antoine Winfield Jr., the safety for the Bucks at number 8. Jordan Love, quarterback for the Green Bay Packers at number 7. CeeDee Lamb, wide receiver for the Dallas Cowboys at 6. At number 5, you got Justin Jefferson, wide receiver for the Minnesota Vikings. At number 4, you've got Tristan Wirfs, offensive tackle for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Number 3, Justin Herbert, quarterback for the Los Angeles Chargers now. Number 2, Jalen Hurts, quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles. And to round out the top 10, at number 1, you've got Joe Burrow, quarterback for the Cincinnati Bengals. Your initial reaction, I actually saw it when you were looking at it. Your initial reaction to this list, what were your thoughts?
My thoughts were the order is a little, but I think there's a player that I would remove off the list, if I'm being completely honest. That player being quarterback Jordan Love.
Yeah, get him out.
Love.
Respectfully, get him out. Like,
Yeah,
what? Number 7?
Yeah, like, all right. Like, I think it's because he was drafted. What was he second round?
No, he was first round. Pick 26.
He out of there.
He was picked 26, and it was obviously like a shocker because they still had Aaron.
Yeah.
They had, not only did they have Aaron, but they just made the NFC Championship the year before in 2019, and they traded up to get him.
Yeah.
So it was like, whoa, okay. But yeah, he was a first rounder.
Yeah, he's up out of there. But there's some players that I would consider honorable mentions that are not on that list that I think are staples for their teams right now.
Mm-hmm.
And those players are Jalen Johnson, cornerback for Chicago Bears, all pro. So I think they're missing a little bit like of position representation on there.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he deserves to be on there. And then he's a wide receiver too. Receiver in T. Higgins. He does a lot for the Cincinnati Bengals, being that extra receiver for Joe Burrow. So I think he deserves to be at least an honorable mention. If not on the list, he's an honorable mention for that list. Rearranging them a little bit, I would probably drop Jalen Hurts slightly down a little bit. I would raise Justin Jefferson. What, you had him at 5?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's, if not 1, 2. I think I like Joe Burrow at 1. I think he's number 1 overall pick for a reason. He has had a phenomenal year last year and has lived up to what he was drafted to be. So sure. I think he's number 1 in there. And then I would definitely be raising Justin Jefferson to be 2 on that list. He's broken almost every rookie record, every second-year record, and almost every third-year record for a receiver in the NFL.
So I rearranged it. I did a new top 10. All but 1 made it. Like I thought 9 out of the 10 deserved to be on there, but I had to bump some people down. So my top 10, I've got Jalen Johnson at 10. I went back and forth between him and Trayvon. But Trayvon being banged up the last 2 years, I had to bump him down. Like Trayvon just barely made the cut, barely missed the cut. Nnamdi Madubuike, I'm happy they included him. You know, defensive players unfortunately don't get, unless they're a pass rusher, typically don't get a lot of shine. But he's had nearly 20 total sacks the last 2 years. He's an All-Pro. He's a Pro Bowler, back-to-back seasons. Antoine Winfield Jr. I had at 8. When healthy, you could argue, I wouldn't say, but like you could argue he's best safety in the league. He's a Pro Bowler, Super Bowl champion, All-Pro player. Jonathan Taylor, I had at 7. He's also like been banged up, but the 3 years where he was essentially fully healthy, 15
dominant,
1,500 plus yards. He led the league in rushing 1 year. At number 6, I had Justin Herbert. Like, I think he's grossly underappreciated, especially for what he did this past season. At 5, and I'll eventually do like my full like quarterback rankings on here. But as for this list, like I have him at 6. At 5, I had Jalen Hurts, multi-time Pro Bowler, 2-time Super Bowl appearance, 2-time Super Bowl appearance player, has a Super Bowl rank, Super Bowl MVP. CeeDee Lamb is at 4. Like, he led the league in receiving yards. He's led the league in receptions. 4 straight years of 1,000 plus yards. He's at number 4. At number 3, I have Joe Burrow. Even though he's lived up to he's accomplished pretty much everything you want minus winning a Super Bowl. I don't think he has any Pro Bowl appearances, but like nobody's going to sit here and question how good of a quarterback he is. But I've got him at 3. At 2, I've got Tristan Wirfs.
Okay.
He's been first team All Pro at both tackle positions. Like that's he may be the only person in NFL history to have done that. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's the case. But minus his rookie season, which he probably could have been at least a Pro Bowler his rookie year, has been a Pro Bowler and an All Pro player every year since 2020. And then at number 1, Justin Jefferson. I minus like him being on my team, but like truthfully, how he wasn't number 1 is baffling to me. He currently has the NFL record for like most receiving yards per game. He's a 4-time Pro Bowler, 4-time All Pro. The only reason why he's not a 5-time is because in 2023 he tore his hamstring and only played in 8 like full games. Yeah. And even that season he had 1,000 yards while only playing 10 games.
I'd be so mad trying to bet, bro. I wouldn't even stay away from him. His line like 115 sometimes. Like, bro, what? Like for a game?
He played in 10 total games. 2 of them he left early due to injury. One, he left the Chiefs game early because he tore his hammy. And then he left one game in the first quarter because he got blasted because Josh Dobbs threw him into the safety on the skinny. But then he essentially played in 8.5 games that year and had 1,000 yards in 2023. So they didn't give him even a Pro Bowl nod, which is insane. He really should be a 5-time All-Pro, 5-time Pro Bowl player. So he's by far and away the best player from the 2020 draft. But I definitely had to take off Jordan Love, with all due respect, but like, no.
You got that money on, though. Hey,
definitely got that money on. Yeah. Hey, definitely paid him.
Got that green. But I don't know if he's on that list, though.
But at this point, it's like Jalen Johnson is a top 10 player.
Oh, yeah. Of that class.
Of that class, yeah.
Yep. And like he molded to be that. Like off rip, he was not. He was good, but he wasn't like the best DB out there. He wasn't like coming to the league like a Sauce Gardner, coming to the league like a Patrick Surtain, like destined to be like you are our number 1 guy. We need you, and you're going to dominate from the get go. No, he worked his ass off to be at the position he is now. So,
and I mean, again, I'm a Vikings fan, so like I was hesitant to give him his flowers, but like since going back and watching him and the work that he's done the last 2 seasons, he's for sure one of the best in the league. And yeah, like you said, he surpassed a lot of guys that were drafted ahead of him in that 2020 draft. Yeah, happy for him. All right, you want to introduce the next top 10 list?
Shaq's top 10 all-time NBA list. Shaq, what you be doing? You ain't got your own stuff on the list. I'm putting you on the list, Shaq. You ain't put yourself on the list, but it is what it is. Get it going. Tell them the list, man. What you got? 1 through 10. Or what they got?
Shaq's top 10 list. We'll start at 10. He's got Dr. J at 10. He's got Tim Duncan at 9. He's got Hakeem Olajuwon at 8. Larry Bird at 7. Will Chamberlain at 6. Bill Russell at 5. Magic Johnson at 4. LeBron at 3. Kobe at 2. And Michael Jordan at 1.
Yeah, he's tweaking. He's tweaking. As much shit as I gave LeBron before. LeBron is that 1A, 1B with Jordan right then and there. He's up there. It's LeBron James. We got to stop playing. I tried to give him shit before. You can't put him outside of 1 and 2. You just can't do it. It's just not a thing that you can do for LeBron James. But what? Hakeem? Top 10?
Wait. Who? You said Hakeem?
You said Hakeem Olajuwon, yeah.
I don't think that's outlandish.
But would you have him 6? 8? Yeah. If I'm doing it, I'm putting him at 10. But you got some players in the league. You missing a lot of young players. Like, are you putting Steph Curry top 10? Are you putting KD top 10?
Am I?
Yeah. No.
But like, we're not even discussing the most like egregious miss though. He didn't have Kareem in the top 10.
That's true. I didn't even really think about it. Yeah, that is true.
How do you not have Kareem in the top 10? You could make a strong argument that he's the greatest player ever.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that, but like, you can make a very strong argument that he's the greatest player ever. So to not have him like not even in the top 3, but in the top 10 at all, I think is absurd. And this is all due respect to Shaq. Like I don't want to be one of those Monday morning quarterback people, or one of those really ignorant people that's like never done anything athletically and want to combat with guys who have done it at the highest level. But I think it's a safe bet to say that Kareem Abdul-Jabbar should be on a top 10 NBA players list of all time. But like, I got a few notes down. Dr. J in the top 10? Like, you mentioned Steph and KD. I would put them in the top 10 before Dr. J, Like, there's a few other like current players that I would put over. Like, I'd put Jokic over. Like, if we're putting Dr.
Giannis.
Giannis, and I would put them in the top 10 before Dr. J, respectfully. But Dr. J over Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and I understand we live in the era of ring culture, and people, even if they're not necessarily a better player than
They run
somebody
them
else,
rings.
they won rings. So the Bill Russell, like player to player, is not a top 5 player ever. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Respectfully, RIP. But he's not a top 5 player ever. Like, I don't care if he won 11 rings in an era when there were like 8 teams or whatever it was. Like, the path to a championship was a lot easier. Now, kudos to winning 11 rings. Like, that's greatness in and of itself. But like, do you really believe that Bill Russell was a better player than some of the other bigs that are below him that you have listed? Like, is he really better than Wilt? Is he really better than Kareem? Is he really better than Hakeem Olajuwon? Is he better than you, Shaq?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's not even on the list.
Like, Shaq, is Bill Russell better than you? And lastly, I mean this with the utmost respect.
Don't say
Kobe Bryant at 2.
You about to say it. I knew you. Well, like at 2, yes, but where do you put him at? Where do you put him at? I knew you was about to say it. Don't be disrespectful.
Well, define disrespectful. Like, what?
After 5 is disrespectful.
You really think so?
After 5 is disrespectful.
I mean, like, I don't have like my full like top 10 list. I think that's for another show.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a precursor. But I would have Kobe at like 6 or 7. But 2?
Yeah, he ain't. I think people just be stuck on mentality sometimes. Like, yes, but like, yes, he did it. But I mean,
the love for Kobe, and you talk about like the Mamba mentality and all that stuff, which was like heavily marketed, which plays a part into a lot of players' mystique. We see a lot of that with Jordan and the Jordan brand and his shoes. Like, that plays into the Jordan mystique. The Mamba mentality under Nike was heavily marketed and adopted, and people wanted to learn more about it. Like, I remember Saquon Barkley one off season talked about like how he reached out to Kobe about the Mamba mentality and, like, how do I bounce back and blah, blah, blah. And I think post his death, unfortunately, a lot of people have in their minds immortalized him and put him in a place that he would not be in if he were currently still alive. Like, I remember Shea Gilgeous-Alexander talking about how Kobe's the greatest player of all time not too long ago. When was this a thing prior to 2020, where we were calling Kobe either the GOAT or the second greatest player ever? Like, I don't remember this. Do you?
No, it's still a LeBron Jordan thing.
LeBron, Jordan, Kareem, and then like maybe you'd be like, all right, I've got Kobe at 4, or I've got Kobe at 5, but like 1 or 2, like Shaq recently was just like, why do we have my band Kobe in the conversation to go? Like, huh?
It's just because he played with him. That's his dog.
And this goes back to what I was saying earlier, where we were talking about Shea, Russell, and KD, where I try my best to be completely objective and not let my heart and my love and the nostalgia get in the way of it. Kobe, like, no bull, is the biggest reason why I started watching basketball. It was like, I had watched it, like semi-regularly growing up. Like, I really loved Dwayne Wade. I really loved Steve Nash. Like, I'd watch them a lot. When I really started watching basketball was the Western Conference Finals in 2010. They were playing the Suns, and it's when he was hitting all those crazy fadeaways. That's when he went over and hit Alvin Gentry on the butt after hitting the fadeaway over the backboard. When I saw that, and I was in awe, I was like, I need to start watching basketball more. When I started
the Matt Barnes joint, try to
throw
the ball at him, he's sitting there staring at him. I'm like, oh, Kobe, real.
When I started like playing basketball in middle school and as a kid, I couldn't dribble. I still really can't. The only shot that I could hit was a fadeaway. I would have to turn my back to the basket so nobody could steal the ball, and I would shoot a fadeaway. And the fadeaway I mimicked time and time again was Kobe.
Like
Even to this day, that's like my go-to move is a fadeaway
the little
because of
garbage
Kobe.
can. Kobe.
Yeah, Kobe. Like that's still my go-to move because of Kobe Bryant. But I'm not gonna sit here out of my love for Kobe Bryant, the person that really made me start watching basketball, and be like, he's the second greatest basketball player of all time. Like, come on, man. With all due respect. But like number 2, come on. Like,
That's a tough list, Shaq.
we gotta stop. But that's him not having Kareem on there is the most egregious thing out of the entire discussion about this list.
I just don't. I know you said about Kareem, but like I just don't. Are you being bashful? You didn't put yourself on the list.
Yeah, like kind of self-deprecating.
Like what are you doing? Like be reasonable. I think he was just like, yeah, I'm gonna just choose my God. No, like be realistic.
I mean, where would he be on your top 10? What range? Like 6 to 10?
6, 7. If you want to be like pushing it, maybe 8. But yeah, like come on. One of the greatest centers ever.
He's like firmly on your top 10.
No. Shaq's, firmly. Granted, he can't shoot no free throws, but firmly.
Okay.
Bro, he's dominant. I mean, like, think about I just want to, like, it's a different game now. But, like, think about Shaq in a post right now. Joel Embiid to get bullied. He get bullied, bro. He get bullied, bro.
I don't know about that.
He get bullied. Jokic getting bullied. He don't play defense. Jokic getting bullied.
He plays when he wants to and can.
Only one I don't think getting bullied is Giannis.
But if you're like Isaiah Hardenstein would get bullied, yeah, for sure. Yeah. But like Joel, no, bro.
Daniel Gafford bullied.
But like I forget who it was. Maybe it was Danny Green. Was like, you know how Charles and Shaq talk about Chet and them. They'd be like, all right, you come out here and defend Chet.
That's what I'm saying. That's gonna be the difference, though.
You know, like, all right, step out and guard Wemby on the perimeter.
Yeah.
Step out and guard Cat on the perimeter, and let's see how that goes. Like, good luck. But real quick before we move on, and I'm sure one day we'll do like a full blown episode of like our top 10, whatever, like this position, top 10 players in this league. I just want to make a quick note, but like Nick Wright, I think made a great point about Shaq. He wasn't talking down on him, but why Shaq's not in his top 10. He says in order to be on the top 10 list in crunch time, you can't be taken out of the game for a deficiency. He said Shaq and his inability to shoot free throws. Like if you can't be in the game, like just left out there for the final 5 minutes, you can't be in the top 10. You're not taking LeBron, Jordan, Kareem out, Kobe out, any of those guys in the final 5 minutes of the game, final 2 minutes of the game because of a deficiency. You're leaving them out there.
Yeah, it's understandable.
You're going to live and die by them. Whereas with Shaq,
foul him.
Yeah. So that's the only reason why I couldn't, why I would have a tougher time putting Shaq in my top 10.
Understandable. But like we know, last but not least, the kicker.
The kicker.
We talked about it a little bit before. We're going to bring it back to them Madden covers.
Yep.
First off, we want to know the best Madden cover that you have over the course of whatever, 20, 25, 26, 30, 27 years that they've been doing Madden. What's your number one Madden cover?
This is the person that many revere as like the best Madden player. Where like Madden, I feel like truly took off. Vic.
Yep, I knew you was going to say it.
Madden 04. Like whenever people think of Madden, that's like one of those revolutionary games where it's like, yeah, that's when it got different.
So now I'm going to take it away from the game though. Like, okay, Matt, the game where people thought about the game, I want to see where something changed the culture. Change the culture of everything that is known of Madden cover, the time frame of it happened, everything like that. My number one Madden cover, 13, Odell.
Your ears are a little off.
Oh, what is it?
16.
Odell.
That was a good one.
I said 13 with number 13. But Odell, he changed the course. Odell's like one of them players that like people was getting haircuts after, bro. Like changed the course of like time.
Yeah. He was a trendsetter.
Like changed the course of time.
The
That catch was like, it was like the one, like you said, they make plays like the
mhm,
hurdle of Saquon Barkley. That catch was like catch heard across the world.
mhm. I remember watching that catch live. I was in the living room with my dad and my older brother, and we were like, "Did they just score? Like, did he catch that?" Like, the crowd didn't really go crazy because it was the
Seen the
flag.
penalty flag, didn't know what
Yeah,
was going on.
saw the penalty flag, didn't know whether or not he caught it or, and then you see him get
Feet
up
in bounds.
celebrating. Yeah, all of that. Like the crowd was like kind of celebrating, but then it was like, wait, hold on. He caught that. Like watching it in real time, it wasn't as hype as one might think.
Yeah.
You see the replay and it's like, snap, he snagged that.
The three fingers, like
Yeah. And one of the greatest compliments ever is as an athlete is when your name is referenced in a song. So like in our lifetime, like he was referenced in the song, obviously like Steph Curry, LeBron, but like a football player, like basketball players get it all the time, but like a football player getting mentioned in a song. Now there's like one egregious one, Nicki Minaj shouting out Brad Wayne, the punter. But like still though, like to be mentioned in the song is huge. But I'm not even gonna lie. I've been a huge critic of the most recent Madden covers, but this Saquon one goes crazy.
that bridged the top two, top three Madden
Yeah.
covers of all time.
Like that play alone is gonna like in our lifetime is gonna be top 10, top 20, top 25 plays we've watched in our life.
One of the most athletic plays I've seen with my own eyes.
Like seeing that and then now that's immortalized on a Madden cover. Yeah, that's for sure like my top 3 Madden covers.
Yeah, I'm
And the
with
fact
you.
that it's an actual play and not just like a stage. Well, it's a stage photo, but like
It happened. Yeah,
they're
like
just
it.
posing.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's another one that you got?
Another one, which is the thing is, we're talking about the stage pictures. I'm gonna go
Mhm.
with stage picture for this one. I actually like the Antonio Brown cover. I actually liked it. I don't know why, but I liked it. It was like, I don't know, the yellow. It wasn't. Antonio Brown was great at that time. Like he was one of the top receivers in the NFL. He just brought like a different. I don't know. He brought a different vibe to football outside
Mhm.
of his now what Antonio Brown is, but like his attitude when he was already in the league, like was just a tad different. But like at that point, I was like, man, Antonio Brown, like one of my favorite receivers. Like
Mhm.
punted the look, kicked the punter. Like he was just doing stuff like man. And then when that coverage, I was like, I kind of like it. And that was the last Madden I bought.
It was also a good Madden. Like the game was a good one.
Yeah,
Another one that I really liked that a lot of people didn't was Madden 10 with Troy
you
Polamalu
like that
and
one? I didn't like the gameplay, so I didn't even think about it.
I liked it. I
It
know
was a good one with
a
Larry
lot of
Fitz.
people and Troy. Like I
Yeah,
mean, those two players coming off that Super Bowl, which came down to the wire. A lot of
that's
people
what was
consider that
crazy.
the greatest Super Bowl ever.
Antonio Holmes.
And you had never seen two players on the cover. So
Uh-huh.
yeah, I like that one.
Yeah, it was a good one. But we talked about the good ones. What about the bad ones? What is your worst, if not, what is a group of the worst ones you got?
I got more bad ones than I do good ones. Number one, Vince Young, Madden '08. Why was he on the cover of Madden? Respectfully. But like during that time, all the players in the league, like were people just too scared to be on the cover because of the Madden
The
curse or
Madden
something?
curse, yeah,
Like
I don't know.
how did Vince Young get on the Madden cover? Tom Brady was in the league. Tom Brady came off of 50 touchdown passes the year before. Eli Manning just won the Super Bowl. You said Peyton
Yeah,
Manning. You had all these great running backs in the league, Marvin Harrison, all these other wide receivers. Like, how did Vince Young get on the Madden cover? Like, what are we doing? The first Madden 20
oh yeah,
with Adrian Peterson, bald head, just like looking into the camera, mugging was not it. And then a more recent one, Madden 22 with Brady and Mahomes. Like, I think it's cool that they were able to share a cover. Like, it'd be like, LeBron and Jordan sharing a cover,
yeah.
Jordan and Kobe sharing a cover. Like when Mahomes finishes up, he'll for sure. I don't think it'd be outlandish to say that he'd be a top 3 quarterback ever when he retires. He has an opportunity to be the greatest quarterback ever. So the fact that he and Brady were able to share a cover, I thought was really dope. But just like the staged picture Like I don't like the stage pictures. I'm not really with it.
Yeah.
So like y'all could have gotten them like throwing or something, but they're just like again staring into the camera. Like why are we doing this?
They might be mad at me for mine. Anyone with John Madden on it.
It's named after him. What do you mean?
I know. But they went for like a good 6 straight years with him being on the cover. I'm like, bro, just change it up.
I do like that he got a cover, in
Yeah, he's supposed to
memoriam.
get one. He's supposed to get one. But for that many years in a row was outlandish.
I'm also curious, like, how was it that John Madden was the one that got an NFL game?
Yeah.
Like, I know he's
Not like Vince Lombardi the game. Like I don't know what like
yeah, Tom Landry, Chuck Noll. Like, I'm just thinking of like coaches that were on like the pantheon of greats during the time before that game. Bill Walsh doesn't get a game. Like with all due respect, R.I.P. John Madden. Obviously, this game has been revolutionary in
Yeah.
keeping like the sport alive and well, and then the pop culture zeitgeist. And he was a longtime commentator for the NFL, which plays a part.
Mm-hmm.
But as a kid, I automatically assumed that he was the greatest coach ever because the game was named after him. And my dad was like, "No, John Madden is not the greatest coach ever. Like he just got the game named after him, but he's not the greatest coach ever." I'm like, "Really?"
Now that's the thing. Well, that just brought another thing to my eyes. Do you think a new game at any point in time ever is created that has like the NFL name, image, likeness on that, or is it forever Madden?
Unfortunately, I think it'll be forever Madden because of the rights. Like I think EA like owns the video game rights of the NFL. And I remember growing up, like if you ever walk into a vintage video game store, so many different companies made NBA games. Like now we only think about 2K, but there was NBA Live. There's like other NBA games that were out there. And I think it forced you to be better, more innovative. And I'm disappointed that I think it'll only forever be Madden solely because we're not going to. EA has no incentive to be innovative and creative solely because they're the only NFL football game. Even if they have down years, they're still turning a profit because it's like, well, people want to play with the newest rookies. People want to play with this player on a new team. People want to continue to have their Madden leagues with their boys or play Madden Ultimate Team, whatever it may be. But yeah, I don't really, unless something drastically changes, I think it's going to be Madden forever.
I get you. I get you. But like we said, we went on best, we went on worst. Who should have been on it, and who do you want to see on it?
As far as who should have been, I've got 3.
I got one that's blasphemous, but go ahead.
At number 3, I've got DeMarcus Ware. I think again, defensive players and linemen don't get a lot of attention, unfortunately. DeMarcus Ware was one of the better pass rushers in all the NFL. He at one point was like an MVP candidate, had a 20-sack season, and he's a Dallas Cowboy. Like if you're the NFL, why would you not want one of the top players on the most popular team in the league? So not only do I think he was deserving of it because of him as a player, but from a marketing standpoint, I think that's avenue that they should have taken. I don't think there's been a single Cowboy on a cover, which is shocking. Like if you're EA, if you're the NFL, if they ever get somebody like that, which I mean they do currently.
Yeah.
And number 2, I've got Julio Jones. Receivers get on there relatively often. Like, Megatron that was on there. You talked about AB being on there. Like, Julio Jones was a top 3 receiver for six, 7, 8-year run. At times, completely unguardable and played in the Super Bowl. So I've multiple NFC championships. So I think it would have been easy to be like, yeah, I'll put Julio on there. And the number 1, and I'm pretty sure this is your number 1 too, Cameron Jarrell Newton. How? And they put Odell on that. No. They put Gronk on Madden 17, which would have been going into the 16th season. But how you don't have Cam Newton on the cover post that MVP year is mind-boggling. That run, I don't think there's ever been a player, maybe Odell, but more popular for like a year
than
shoes, Cam Newton.
The cleats.
The shoes, the dabbing. He's like a Superman. He's a dual threat quarterback. Like he was unstoppable. I know they lost the Super Bowl that year, but they won 17 games total, only lost 2. He accounted for over 50 some TDs the entire season. And he was like lovable and likable. He's doing dances and he's throwing the ball into the stands for the kids. Like, how you don't have Cam on a Madden cover, just, and I know one year he was a finalist. It was the year Calvin Johnson ended up on the cover. Him and Cam were the finalists. Like, Cam at that point should not have been on the cover going into the 2013 season, but coming off that 2015 year where he won MVP, that should have been his cover. Like, it breaks my heart.
It's gonna be. I like the defensive player aspect that you went.
Mm-hmm.
I went Aaron Donald.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think he would want to be on the Madden cover, but like, he's arguably the most dominant defensive lineman to ever play the game of football.
Especially when they, like, them going to LA.
Yeah, Aaron Donald, that would have been a cold Madden cover. Just like, he'd have been jacked. Like, he just, I don't know. That's just a dope Madden cover, I think, if Aaron Donald was on there.
That's a good one. I got one more that, again, both a great player and, marketability would have been dope. Marshawn Lynch.
Oh, yeah.
I know Richard Sherman got on there one year.
That would have been cool.
But, like, Marshawn on the Madden cover would have been, like, he's a great ambassador of the sport, like a great steward of the sport. Like, he would have been a dope Madden cover.
You know what would have been dope? Because he got fined after he did the little, like, jump in the end zone, grab it. If that was the cover and, like, they paid for all the stuff, like they did with the Jordan, how they paid the fines, whatever, any fine that came with it, Madden was like, yeah, we're going to pay for them joints.
Even if, like, he wasn't jumping in, holding.
Yeah.
But just simply jumping in
backwards, just like, even like jumping on his hand or just something like that. That'd have just been dope.
Yeah. Marshawn would have been another dope Madden cover. Now, who currently would you want to see on the cover?
Who do I want to see on the cover?
Mm-hmm.
I liked how you went the dual aspect of the Larry Fitz, Troy Polamalu. I think we need to see a Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase Madden cover. Mm-hmm. The 1A, 1B aspect of them, everybody going back and forth. That would be such a crazy Madden cover. Like the Gritty brothers, both LSU. Like, it'd have been just crazy if I get a Jamar Chase Jettas Madden cover.
No, that'd be dope. I'm going back to the defensive route, kind of bringing the whole Cowboys pass rusher full circle. Micah Parsons. He's been all but this past season because he missed some time because of his ankle, I want to say, or groin. All pro bowler every single year. Like, he's a Dallas Cowboy. He's a pass rusher. Like, he plays one of those positions where it's easily marketable. Get Micah Parsons on a Madden.
I think it works well with him because, too, even with his, like, he's a podcaster. He's just he's in the media. He talks all the time. He's very vocal, plays the game of Madden. Like, I think people really want to buy that game. So that's a good one.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not necessarily a fan of, like, all his media stuff. Like, if I were his teammate, coach, owner, I would prefer that he scaled it back. But there's no denying he's a popular player and a dominant player at that.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Who's another one you had? Did you have any more?
Well, I guess current players, if I went defensive, I probably would want to see like a Bobby Wagner cover, just like nostalgia. That would have been dope at some point in time. A Bobby Wagner, that would have been cool. Not now, because with him on the Washington and everything, that would have been, I don't like that. But like a Seattle one, that would have been cool.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't have anything like crazy. Like they're gonna keep pushing the quarterbacks and stuff like that. So I mean, Josh Allen eventually will be on one. Like,
no, he's on one. He's on one. He was on 23 or 24. 24. Yeah, 24. I've got 2 quarterbacks. Baker Mayfield.
He won't ever be on one, but it's all right.
Why not?
He won't ever be on one, but it's all right. I mean, it'd be cool to see, but it won't be on one.
He's got back-to-back Pro Bowls now, back-to-back playoff appearances. If they we'll get into predictions later, but they're probably going to win the South, probably going to be back in the postseason. If they make an NFC Championship run, and he's got a nice play with the creamsicle on, it's not out of the realm of possibility. And of the big 3 quarterbacks, we've got a cover with Lamar, we've got a cover with Josh Allen, we've got a cover with Patrick Mahomes, multiple covers with Patrick Mahomes right now. Joe Burrow, he's next man up.
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't even think he want one, but it's like, I think if he was asked to be on the Madden, he'd be like, Nah, I'm cool. Like just like his personality. I don't know.
I don't know if I agree with that though. Like we're talking about this. This is the guy that be going to fashion shows and the Met Gala and all that stuff. Like he's out in the public eye. He's not shying away from that. He's not.
Hey,
He's all these guys are like that though. None of them really shy away. It's that new era of athlete. Some
just
of them
know
are more graceful than others, but
if he end up getting on there, just make sure you get a cut. I know his barber, Nail. He got it. I know his barber, Nail. Nail gonna get him right.
but real quick, somebody who shouldn't have Peyton Hillis should not have been on the cover. Like, what are we doing, bro?
At that point, they could have put Joe Thomas on the cover.
Like, what was that? Madden 12?
12 or something like that, yeah.
Just think of the running backs in the league during that time. You had Adrian Peterson, you had Marshawn Lynch, you had Steven Jackson, you had Ray Rice, like you had Jamal Charles, like you had dudes in the league. And it just bothers me not to make it racial, but it feels like, oh snap, there's a white running back, get him on the cover. And it just felt slightly disingenuous because I don't know anybody. Like if you put it out to a fan vote,
I wonder how many yards he had that year.
like going before the Madden cover,
before the cover.
You can check my math right now. He probably had like 1,100. He didn't lead the league in rushing. He didn't lead the league in rushing touchdowns. Like why? What are we doing? It feels like Vince Young on the Madden cover. Like why?
People
like,
go back. Like I think the thing is like you can go back. People can go back. Kids can go back and be like, okay, who is this? Who is this on the Madden cover? Who is this? If they pull up that Madden cover, they have probably no clue who that was.
Nope. What's even the kids 20 years from now should not know who was on these Madden covers way back when. It helps. But your parents should at least be able to say, yeah, that was so and so.
Yeah.
There's a strong possibility 20 years from now that these parents are going to be like,
no clue who that is.
I don't know who that is. And that's a shame. Because we can look at Madden 03, 02, you name it, and be like, oh, that was Marshall Faulk. Oh, that's Ray Lewis. Oh, that's, again, Michael Vick. That's Sean Alexander. That's John Madden himself. 20 years from now, you ask somebody our age, 20 years from now, like, Dad, who was on the cover of Madden 12?
Let me look him up real quick. Let's go.
I don't know. And that's a shame. Like that's not, that shouldn't be a thing.
But nevertheless, we had to touch on it and see what your thoughts was on the Madden covers, man. It was a good topic, especially with the release this past week. So
yeah.
But it has come to an end. Another great show. Another great episode.
Yeah,
man.
As always, it's been dope.
Appreciate everybody. Like I said, go follow us on Instagram, TikTok, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and check us out on Spotify at the Locker Room Pod.
And we appreciate everybody that takes time to tune in. We understand that our weeks are busy. Even when we're planning for this, it's like, what time can you meet?
Mm-hmm.
May have to adjust the schedule a little bit, whatever it may be. So the fact that each week we're seeing people tuning in, like it's one of the best feelings in the world. But like Kijana just said, follow us at the Locker Room Pod on Instagram, on TikTok, Locker Room Podcast on YouTube and Spotify.
Mm-hmm.
Get those numbers up, share it, you name it. However you can help us expand the platform, we appreciate it. So
look out for that new snippet coming out soon.
All right. Well, my dog, good seeing you.
You too as well.
All right. And see y'all next week.
Yep.
All right. Peace.